In a breaking news report, there has been a shooting at Mercy Hospital in Chicago. The story is still developing, but so far what we know is that 2 people have been announced dead and 3 victims are in the hospital in critical condition. The shooter is also in the hospital in critical condition, and that's according to CNN. Sources also tell ABC7 in Chicago that one of the women who was shot in the parking lot was a doctor at Mercy Hospital reporting to work and was shot by her former fiance. A man who witnessed the Mercy Hospital shooting said a man shot a woman 3 times in the chest outside an entrance after she fell to the ground. He said the man stood over her and shot her 3 more times. In fact, this witness was quoted as saying they were walking and talking and he just turned around and started shooting. It wasn't a heated exchange. It was just like they were talking now, or we're talking now. Also, Negari Thompson, who works at the hospital in the hospital's family clinic, says, "I'm scared as hell. I have never been so scared. I hear of shootings going on every day at people's workplaces, but not where I work. This was very too close to me. This could have been us back there, and if any bullets had pierced the wall, we all would have been hurt."
Yeah, well, look, guys, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you're gonna get scared now. There'll be a shooting in your neighborhood, guaranteed, guaranteed. And so you'll be super lucky if you or a loved one doesn't catch a bullet in one of those shootings. So the idiots in the right are worried about a caravan of people seeking asylum that don't have any weapons at all. Meanwhile, there's people dying left and right of the real dangers. So 76 dead at least, and over 1,000 missing in the wildfires in Florida. I'm sorry, in California, hurricanes in Florida, Texas, Puerto Rico, New Orleans, you name it. Hurricanes all up and down the seacoast. So all more extreme than they used to be. The fires more extreme than they used to be. People actually die from that. And then when you get to the shootings, it's nonstop massacres. We were having a debate, this is a breaking news story, during the break as to whether we should report it, because it's only 2 dead in this massacre. Look at the conversation, look at the sentence, only 2 dead in this massacre, okay? And it's a daily occurrence, so you report every single one of them. And you know why? Because we have more guns than everyone else. There's just as angry people in other countries. There's people that are mentally unstable in other countries, prone to violence in other countries. And this guy in another country probably does something horrible. He hits this woman and maybe hits someone else that's nearby with his hands and does some damage, and then cops arrest him, and then she has to take a while to recover. But in America, everybody's got a gun, so he murders her, and then he murders other people, and he shoots a whole bunch of people in the area because we have about 300 million guns in the country. We have the most guns and the most shootings. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put those things together. In fact, it takes a lot of crooked politicians to try to separate that obvious fact out so that you don't go after the real problem, because they're getting paid by those gun manufacturers to hide the real problem.
2 points I want to make. First, for anyone who's watching this and has the inevitable reaction of, well, Chicago's got some strict gun laws and it apparently didn't work here. Chicago is not an island. It's not an island surrounded by big water. And so as a result, it's very easy to go into Chicago, buy guns right outside of Chicago, go into Chicago and carry out this type of horrible act of violence. Second point I want to make is that one of the people who was injured as a result of this shooting was a Chicago police officer. I am uncertain as to what his condition is at the moment, but if you're part of the right wing and you claim that you support cops, it's all talk. You have to actually put action behind those words and do what's necessary to help protect these cops. Because how many cops are gonna die in these massacres?
They're the world's biggest hypocrites. Because not only do they not care about cops, the actual threat, not protests, but actual violence against cops. The NRA says armor-piercing bullets are awesome. Well, only the cops wear armor, so if you support the NRA and you support the Republican politicians that unquestioningly support the NRA, you say armor-piercing bullets that kill cops are terrific. Own it, you vote that way. You vote for armor-piercing bullets to kill cops. So don't pretend that you don't, okay? And then, but more importantly, cops get shot all the time by the 300 million guns in the country. Do cops get shot at the same rate in Japan or Britain, for example? Not remotely. Almost no cops are ever shot in Japan because no one has guns in Japan. Japan actually is an island, and they can keep guns out by doing that. Chicago is surrounded by an ocean of weapons. Only a jackass would say, well, hey, Chicago has tight gun laws. As if Chicago is not a tiny city in a giant continent of guns.
Exactly.
Right? So, look, you get cops killed all the time by being pro-NRA. And not only that, one last thing. What do they say when you say, well, look, we should do some reasonable gun control because obviously this is out of control, and it actually is a grave threat to your family? They go, oh yeah, but what if the government comes for us? Then we have to murder them. So that would be where you murder cops. Let's just be clear about that. Okay, and look, to be fair, some progressives say that too, but be careful what you're saying, right? Oh, I'm gonna stand up against the tyranny of the government. Against which government? Are you gonna shoot cops or troops? Which one are you gonna shoot? The guy's claiming that Kaepernick is not sufficiently patriotic to veterans or cops are the same guys who will often turn around and go, oh man, I need my gun for the tyranny of government because I can't wait to shoot troops and service members and cops in the face.
I mean, we're dealing with the tyranny of the government right now, under Trump. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, the constitutional violations that he would carry out if he wasn't challenged are like countless. I mean, he wants to completely lodge a war against the press because they do legitimate reporting of his flaws and his downfalls. I mean, come on, it's not about tyranny of the government. Besides which, if you genuinely believe that, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go after the government with your guns, considering the military capabilities the government has? It's just such a pathetic, lazy argument. And I'm so tired of hearing it over and over again.
And if you're a conservative who loves to be scared by Fox News and Donald Trump, you're looking at the wrong place, son. You're looking at some caravan of absolutely poor, destitute people. Look to the left of you, look to the right of you. It's likely your right-wing wacko neighbor is going to shoot you. That's 1,000, literally 1,000 times more likely than any outsider is gonna come and do your family violence. Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.